Next up, Evelyn, is your backstroke. On your backstroke, number one goal and priority is going to be the body position. Sitting right up on the top of the water, we're going to look for a head that's far enough back in the water to kind of hold the shoulders where they're supposed to be and help bring the hips up to the surface. Done a really nice job here with that head position and keeping those hips. We do have a little bit of a drop with those feet though. Going through your backstroke, what we want to focus on is a kick that remains relatively small and close to the surface. You've got a little bit of kind of a knee coming up and breaking the surface there. We want to keep that knee in check. Focus on a kick that starts right here in those hips. The kick itself is relatively small. Imagine it's kind of in between those two lines in a small little box. And you're really going to try to tiptoe right on the surface of the water. Going into the above the water view, what we should see is your feet splashing and breaking the surface every single time you take a kick. There's not really a lot of surface breaking there. Think about trying to tiptoe again and splash every single time you're going through that kick. Back underneath the water, again, you can kind of see the body starting to sink down towards the bottom as you get towards the end of the swim. Make sure you're really thinking about tightening up those core muscles, kind of connecting the shoulders right here and the hips as one, and really tightening up to bring them up towards the surface. You do a nice job with your pull on this arm here towards the left. You're going to have that rotation towards the other side, and as that arm lands, we should see that pinky in first. Make sure you're not landing with the back of your hand. Going into your pull, we want that elbow to bend exactly like what we see here, fingertips up, pointed towards the camera, and you're going to have this nice finish off of the stroke. Be very careful at the end of the stroke to make sure you don't let the water be pushed down by that hand. You can kind of see here, there's that hand finishing off the stroke, and then the hand goes down and waits before it goes immediately back up into that next pull. Snap that hip rotation just a little bit sooner to make sure you don't have time to let that hand sink in between the poles. Backing up a little bit to take a look at the other side, there's that pinky in first on this side. We should have now that arm going down, elbow bent, and this pull is a little bit low here. We got the elbow in the right spot, but the hand should not be the lowest point of the stroke. We want that again just below the surface of the water. Think about kind of making sure that you've got those fingertips just below the top of the water, almost as if you're going to pull on the lane line. We're looking for a 90-degree bend or so, and you're going to hold that 90-degree bend all the way through towards the end of that stroke. And here again, we can see there's that little bit of that drop down with that hand. Don't let the hand finish off the stroke and then pause or hesitate before it goes up into the next one. Snap those hips and immediately get up into that next part of the pull. Backstroke is very up-tempo, and it should not have any pauses or breaks in it. We shouldn't see any of that with the kick, and we definitely shouldn't see any pauses or breaks with the pull either. And lastly, watching that kick tempo. Again, you want to get it up towards the surface, but think about trying to get 6 to 8 kicks in per stroke cycle. The only way to do that is to make sure that it is nice and small, right up at the surface, and that small tiptoeing kick. Overall, nice job with your backstroke.